That was a rough one. I'm going to give a review on week 3 of the Razorbacks where they played Missouri State, coached by a guy named Bobby Petrino. Rocket Sanders had 167 rushing yards and 73 receiving yards on one pass. KJ Jefferson had 385 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception that we can all agree was not on him. Sorry, Trey Knox, but that's your fault. Missouri State, however, had 357 passing yards against an SEC defense. Now, they did only have 52 rushing yards, but that's probably because of all the sacks and tackles for a loss and stuff like that. However, the 3 turnovers in the first half really cost the Razorbacks, I'm going to say 17 points minimum, because, well, one of them was right there on the goal line. There was a fumble on the goal line. KJ had a fumble. KJ had that pick. All 3 happened in the first half, which I'm going to say Arkansas left 17 points just sitting on the board there, minimum. They were really showed their dominance in the second half, almost having their way. Also in week 3, we saw Bobby Petrino gamble like he has been known to do when he was a coach at Arkansas. It was the 4th down, and he drops the quarterback back in shotgun, has the receivers run out, and before anybody starts to say anything, Arkansas is ranked, I believe, dead last in pass coverage and pass defense this year. So before anybody starts getting on the bandwagon about trying to defend any of the defensive backs that were playing last week, once again, they gave up 357 yards to Missouri State. Now, the quarterback played great, but that has to improve. And it's not just me saying this. All the national guys are saying this. All the state media is saying this. So before you start to go, hey, what about this, what about this, what about this? We're dead last. There's no defending that. Now, we are, I believe, leading the conference in sacks. And I figure that's where Pittman's like, well, maybe we can make up for it there. If our linebackers and our defensive line can get to the quarterback enough, maybe it'll disrupt the fact that we really are suffering in the coverage in the defensive backfield. So on to week 4. We're going to Jerryland down in Arlington, Texas to play Texas A&M, who might have found their new starter last week with Max Johnson, who couldn't even win that starting job at LSU, so he transferred. He was a backup at A&M. Now he's become the starter, and he had a decent week. They do have a great running back. He's averaging 4.3 yards a carry. Anai Smith, the wide receiver, so far this season has 259 yards. He's a very good receiver. They have very good receivers, which is what is scary coming up for this game because, as I've mentioned, our defensive backfield is ranked dead last. But when you hit rock bottom, where do you go? Up. We can't be worse than we've been so far. So we have nowhere to go but up. And we're getting Miles Slusher back this week. Pittman's been bragging a lot about Chavis and maybe Bishop. We might be seeing him play. But it's going to be, I think our safeties are going to start to get a little bit healthier. We're not getting Catalon back this season. He's done, again. But Slusher being in the backfield can maybe help police the safeties and defensive backs a little bit better than they have been in the previous 4 weeks. Remember, he went out week 1 along with Catalon, and we haven't been able to get the ball rolling without them. And I feel like Slusher is going to have a great game this week. He's going to want to show out because he's been off the field for the last 4 weeks. Okay, so before I get into my prediction, I'm going to say if the Razorbacks can clean up the penalties and clean up the turnovers, which the turnovers last week was a fluke. That is not a typical Sam Pittman coach team. That was a weird thing that happened. And I do think they'll clean up the turnovers and the missed tackles. A lot of those receiving yards, are because a lot of people are missing tackles. So it is a little inflating the numbers against the pass defense. I get that. However, if they can clean up the penalties, not have any turnovers, and tackle people, wrap them up, take them down, instead of trying to do a shoulder tackle, I predict that the Razorbacks are going to win 33-20. My original prediction was 27-17. I'm just going to vary from that a little bit. I'm going to give both offenses a little bit more points. It's about the same spread, and my prediction for the offensive player of the game is going to be Hazelwood. I just have a feeling it's his breakout game. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and remember, it's a game. It's only a game.